Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is an S-51, the Tier 7 Soviet SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Malinovka, and this one is under the command of GG72. Now, it used to be that if you wanted to get to the Tier 7 Soviet SPG, you get the Su-14-1, but that has now been relegated to the Collector's tab, and the standard Arty at Tier 7 now is the S-51. Otherwise known as the Unicorn, for obvious reasons. Yes, that long barrel at the end of the tank. It is basically a KV-1S with an artillery piece mounted on top of it. It's got a very narrow arc of fire, but what it does have is a rather good punch. It will do 700 alpha, penetrating 38mm of armour, and it's got a burst radius of 7.6 metres. And with the 203mm B4 howitzer, it's actually capable of doing quite a few bombardiers because it's got a very big footprint, a tier 10 footprint at tier 7. Okay, it looks like we've got an AFK in that AMX M445, and he's already receiving fire. Hasn't moved away from the spawn point yet. Round out, long flight time. Gucci pulls away before the shell arrives, so we didn't get to see exactly what happened, but I suspect the shell did actually impact on target. We don't like our players to do this because there's always a possibility that they might get a blind hit, you see, on a target. And if they pull away as they shoot, they won't find out if they did that or not. Many's the time that I've had blind hits on the enemy. In fact, I had 2 today in one battle and took out 2 targets with blind kills. And of course I wouldn't have known that they were blind kills except for the text readout at the bottom of the screen saying that I'd actually killed them. But because I was watching at the time, yes, I actually got to see the tanks die. Now I can understand somebody wanting to relocate to avoid counter battery. I know on the NA server a lot of players do counter battery and they do it rather well. And so I can understand it if you're on the NA server that you want to relocate, but on the EU server, probably not necessary. But if you want to relocate, just move forward, use your W key, but keep looking at the target to see what the shell's doing. Now, Gucci's given up trying to get that shot on the ISU-152 or the SU-100 down there. Instead, now he's aiming at a Lanson C, who's sitting up on that prominent place on F7. He's fired a round in. And he did stay to look this time round, and we didn't see any tracer or any hit on the enemy. The ISU-152's come out of his hiding place now, and he's actually sitting around the back of that building. And this is where the splash radius of this shell can actually be quite dangerous to the enemy. He fires a round in, and again he pulls away before we get to see what happened to the shell. Now you might notice the reticule drifting to the left or the right. Now that may be down to Aslains mods. The reticule will try to drift towards a spotted tank on the map. If you are aiming at a blind target, it sometimes drifts towards that direction. He's fired at the Tiger II and gets a direct hit. Now there wasn't any there was some traces on the 1.9 client, but we had a bit of a problem with them. I think it was to do with the mods. Maybe that the Aslains mods wasn't showing the tracer. But these enemy have crept along the lower level on the hill. And Gucci gets a direct hit on the rear of that Super Pershing. Now, thankfully our guys who are behind that Super Pershing are firing rounds into his rear as well. And Gucci's picking up some stun assist. And there he goes. So Gucci got 645 hit points of stun assist from that single kill alone. Rounds out on the hill. A lovely direct hit there on the Tiger II. And he's picked up some stun assist already, but we've lost the last of our teammates up there. Our Lanson C's pulling back because he's under fire from the Tiger II. Gucci's loaded again. Fairly fast fire rate from the BR2 howitzer. If I remember correctly, it's around about 22 seconds. The Lanson C is now in danger from that Jagdtiger 88 and the AMX M445. Gucci reassigns his aim. Can see the Progetto. That's more of a threat to that Lantern Seed than the others. And he wings the Progetto for 56. But the Lantern Seed's a goner. Yep. Well, we've still got a couple of teammates between us and the enemy. There's an ISU-152 and an IS. Plus, of course, our teammate in the M12. The rest of our team is doing quite well because they're down in the south of the map now. So it looks like the enemy up on the hill is now in a bit of a problem, because if they do come down the hill and engage our guys on the way, they're going to lose tanks. But they're already losing tanks down in the south. They are 2 tanks up on us at the moment, but it's costing them in hit points every time they try to send somebody down the hill. M449. Direct hit, 204. He's stunned. He's stationary. I think he's tracked. I'm pretty sure he's tracked. The IS is pulling back now towards us, and the M12 needs to retreat as well. There's the tree that tells us that the MX M449 is in motion. Gucci's having to back up amongst the trees. As he's reloading, he can do that. He extends his aim again. The M445 is a one-shot. If he can get the shot on target, go for it. Line him up. Got the outline. And he's killed before the shot's fired. So, kill denied there, but the M449 is still there. We're only 1 tank down on the enemy now, but, well, no, we're back to 2 tanks down. The Progetto just killed another one. It's the same Progetto that was up on the hill, funnily enough. He just relocated, and here comes that Tiger 88. Gucci's backing up. He tries to auto-aim on. Can't get a line up, but he is trying now. Extend your aim, get the red line over the target, and yes, right in his face. 81 hit points, keeps him stunned. He's getting very close to the water now. He doesn't want to go swimming. He's reloading. The enemy's pushing. Lining up a shot on the Tiger. Where we've got the red line, that's where the Tiger is. He's decided to go for the M449 instead. Lines up the shot. Gets the red line. Yes, right in the side of him. 288, a big hit. Our teammates are near the cap area. We're the ones doing the spotting for them. In fact, now Gucci's all alone on this north bank of the inlet. But the enemy seems to be just ignoring him because they're paying attention to our guys near the cap. So Gucci gets to shoot using the cues from the guys near the cap. He's going after the M449. Can he get the kill? Lines up, gets the red line on the target. Yes! Gets a kill. That's his first kill of the game. Right, the next enemy in sight is an AMX 1375, some distance away, but there is a Tiger 88 much, much closer that Gucci cannot see at the moment. He's in amongst the trees, and the E25 is coming in to try and help him. He's loaded, ready to go. 20.20 seconds is the reload time. I thought it was about 22, but no, he's got a faster crew. He's lining up on the Tiger 88. I think the E25 gets there before him, and does. And he's now safe and can move. That must be a huge relief for Gucci at that moment. But he did help his team because he actually smashed those guys with some incredible shots. He's already scored 2.2k of damage. Goes for the IS-2. Oh, he killed him! The round actually hit the side of the IS-2 too when he was moving. Or the IS-2 shielded rather. And he actually rolled to a halt behind the building. So he must have smacked him really hard. We didn't see any tracer or anything, but he did stay to look, and we saw that wreck appear behind the house. That's a fantastic shot. So 2 kills now for Gucci. And there's 4 tanks each on either team. On hit points wise, well, they have a slight advantage over us. They've got 1865, we got 1563. I can tell that because I've got mods at the top of my screen which tell me how many hit points are left in the game. One of the enemy tanks has been spotted. It's an AT-15A, the premium British tank destroyer. It's a fixed casement. Now Guji's going to try and dial in if he can. He's got no outline to work with. He's hiding behind the building. Guji's going to fire in anyway. And he got some splash. The shell must have exploded against the building and damaged the AT-15 purely by proximity. You can see now where that the IS-2 shielded rolled to a halt, actually behind the building after being struck at speed. He must have turned around, decided to move towards the west, started moving, and all of a sudden, wham, shell landed right into his side. Now Guji could keep firing at the building. He does have enough shells. Rounds out. Yes. And a nice one. 133. He's being valuable to his teammate. We've got somebody moving down the forest and they've killed one of the enemy already. So just down to the AT-15A and the two Artys. And if he finds the Artys in the south, and he's found one of them, the GW Panther. Guji's opposite number. Lining up a shot, rounds out. Oh! A near miss, 128. The GW goes down. And that means there's only two left on the enemy team. The AT-15A is taking damage. Guji's trying to divide his time between the AT-15A and where he thinks the enemy Arty is likely to be. I think in the corner. There he is. Yes, he is in the corner. He was right underneath Guji's reticule. Guji fires around him, but no, the Lance & C gets there before his shell hits the target. And that means that there's only the AT-15 left. So if Guji can stun him, he'll pick up the stun assist off this one. Go for it. Rounds out. Here we go. Stuns the target. The Lance & C's lining up a shot on him and kills him, winning the game. And Guji picks up the stun assist. What a turnaround that game was. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's an ace tanker for Guji72 in the S-51. He played a blinder in that one. I know it's a British term, but it means he did incredibly well, considering he was the only tank north of the inlet when the enemy tanks were all in the forest around him. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 16. He also got a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken down by others. And he got 2 kills as well on top of all that. So very well played indeed. Let's have a look at team scores. He didn't get the highest damage in the game. Note that was reserved for the Lance & C, who had a very good game. 3,225 hit points of damage go to him. Next highest scorer was that Tiger 88. Managed to get 3,105 hit points of damage. And the highest score after that was the AT-15A with 2,818. Guji got the 4th highest damage in the game with 2,601 hit points. I misread that 0. And that's still a very good score. If you look at the number of kills, you can see that Lance & C just got 1 short of a Radley Walters medal. 7 kills for him, 4 kills for the Progetto, and then 2 kills for Guji, the Super Hellcat, the M12, the 88 pack, the Tiger 88, and the Lance & C on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, it was Guji who did the best, and the reason for that obviously being that he was tier 7 and some of these other guys were tier 8, so he was hitting higher tier opponents and extracting a lot of hit points out of them. Very well played indeed. 1,404 for Guji, 1,370 for the Lance & C, who played very well indeed, and 890 for the other Lance & C, who got killed by the guys coming down the hill. Guji fired 19 rounds in that game, got 9 direct hits, no penetration but 19 splash. Damage of 2,601 hit points, of which 2,072 were at more than 300 meters. He damaged 10 of the enemy, that's 2/3 of the enemy team were hit by him, and only got 2 kills, but that's a big enough difference to get the Confederate. And 3,081 hit points of stun assist off 17 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 49,051 credits, and after ammunition resupply, took away 52,297 credits. He received 1,404 XP, got ×2 for the first victory, 4,212 from personal missions payout, and took away 8,424 experience points altogether. So a really great battle there for Guji, and it is fairly difficult to get an Ace Tanker in the S-51, mainly because the arc of fire is so narrow. You have to have a very well-trained crew to make it work, and that means you have to play a lot of games in the S-51 to get such a good crew. But he did do amazing, and really I think the best thing about it was that he was north of the river, right up against the water's edge, and still smacking the enemy in the side. Even though they were in the woods, only 100 meters or so away from him, they never detected him, even though he was hitting them, mainly because they were focusing on the other tanks that were firing at them from the cap area. So a very well done, a cool nerve there to stay there whilst potentially he could be wiped out any moment. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.